All right. So we're doing an end of month live Q&A stream right now because we ended up taking a lot of the data, a lot of the information. 1 second. Okay. Boom. All right. All right. What's up, guys? What's up? What's up? Doing an end of month Q&A, and what I did was I got Zoom going, I got YouTube, and I got, let's see if we got, because that's the best place to make sure we got everyone located. What's going on, guys? I'm also streaming this. What's up? What's up? I'm also streaming this on my Zoom, so I want to make sure we got that functional. And as you guys are joining, we got YouTube and we got Instagram Live because I want to get everyone in one place so that we can make sure. Let me see. Enable waiting room. Let's turn that off. And we got that going. All right, cool. So let me get my camera going. Which camera are we going to use? Let's see if we got this one functional. Nope, that one is not functional. All right, so what I'll do is I'll send you guys over to YouTube. I haven't done a YouTube live in so long. Let me see if I can get that going. All right, cool. We'll turn that off. Where's the other camera at? Oh, looks like the kids got it. All right, so Zoom. Let me see if I could get that going. All right, where is the other camera? There we go. Somewhere over here. Boom. So we got the Zoom camera functional now. Boom. Okay. Working through the technical challenges. We got YouTube, we got Zoom, and we got Instagram Live. One day I'm going to get it all in one spot. But until then, let's work with what we got. So I want to make sure we got the Zoom room open. You guys can feel free to drop anything in the chat. If you got any questions, same thing on Instagram and same thing on YouTube. So I want to make sure we are all on the same page and same accord. Let me go ahead and get it rocking. So we had, and then I'll give you guys some context. So today I'll be answering some of the most common questions that people get before they start a remote cleaning business, or stuff that usually determines whether you move forward or stay stuck. And if you guys don't know, my name is Anthony Hartzog. I'm one of the founders of Cleaning Business University, and we created and scaled multiple seven figures in this space. And we've seen the same questions come up time and time again. I actually got over 1,000 questions, but we're not going to do 1,000 questions today. And what I learned is not about the questions that matter themselves, it's about let's make sure we got that. All right, cool. So it looks like the Spectrum guy literally just came as we were starting the session.
Recording in progress.
Sorry about that, guys. Looks like the Spectrum guy literally came out to my house as we were doing this live session. So we're going to work through some of the technical challenges. I'm going to make sure I connect to my hotspot while he's doing his work. And if you guys got any questions while you're on, just feel free to drop them. Just drop them in the chat, or feel free to come off mute. But I already got a predisposed list of questions that people normally ask. But if anything comes up outside of those questions, feel free to just come off mute and just ask your question, or just put in the chat as we're going along, right? So again, what I've learned about is really not about the questions that people ask. It's more about how do we solve those challenges as they come up. So, and these are some of the most common questions we get when people get on our lives, when people get on our YouTubes, when people get on our podcasts, when people get on our webinars. And if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to drop your questions in the chat or on Instagram Live. And I hope everyone had a fantastic holiday season, especially when it comes to Christmas. If you celebrate Christmas, hopefully you guys had an enjoyable one. And then we got New Year's coming up as well. So hopefully you guys enjoy New Year's as well. All right. So one of the questions we get normally from our audience, we got a pretty big audience of 9 to 5ers, people with families, people with kids, and people who are wondering if this is a business that I could even start myself. And I always want to let you guys know a little bit more about her. So when we started this business back in 2017, we didn't have any kids, right? We had a bunch of time, and we started this business using the time outside of our 9-to-5 jobs. So we worked 9 to 5, and then we worked 5 to 10. And we normally ran this business outside of our 9-to-5s, and we also ran it on nights and weekends. So you're wondering, is this business for someone like you? Like I said, majority of our audience are 9-to-5ers. So who this business is for, right? When it comes to remote cleaning business or just remote business in general, who is this business for? So we like to say it is for people who have 9-to-5 jobs, right? That's our main demographic. That's our main target audience, only because we're talking to ourselves when we first started this business back in 2017, right? We do get a lot of cleaning business owners, but we mainly cater to 9-to-5ers, people who are at their position. They've had a steady job. They've had a decent income. And they're like, listen, I want to create more options outside of my job. I want to spend more time with my family. I want to pay off debt. I want to travel more. I want to save more, whatever it is. Those are our demographic. That's our typical audience. Now, we cater to those people because when we started our business, we weren't at a point where we were like financially, we were at a place where we started financially. We were extremely struggling trying to build this business. We started at a place where we were kind of okay financially, but we knew we wanted more. We knew we wanted more options. We knew we wanted more freedom outside of our 9-to-5s. And we knew that getting a business or starting a side hustle would allow us to do that. So if that's you, you're at a 9-to-5 job, you're at a decent position, you're not worried about, if you start this business, you're not going to say, I'm going to go, if this business fails, I'm going to go into debt. I'm going to have to leave my house, things like that. If this is like your last dime, do not start a business, right? That's the thing I tell people all the time. If you have a 9-to-5 job, and you're like, if I start this business, I'm going to go bankrupt, don't start the business. I'd rather you pick up another side job like we did. We worked 9-to-5, and then we worked 5 to 10 outside of our jobs as we grew this business. So this is for those type of individuals. Now, who is not for? So there's another question that people could ask us is like, is this business for me if I do this or I don't do this, right? I would say if you're in a position where starting this business will put you in a strong financial strain, do not start a business. I'll just say that, right? If you're in a position where you believe like courses and coaches and consultants are a complete scam, like this is not for you. If you're going to be someone that's not going to follow a blueprint, a recommendation that we give you, and you're going to go and try to figure it out on your own because you believe that I can do this on my own without you, this is not for you. That would be like you going to a college class and you thinking that, well, I'm not going to listen to the professor because I'm going to go and try to build this on my own. I'm going to try to pass the accounting class without showing them to a single accounting course. Now, is it possible? Absolutely. But if you came to a class with a person teach you something, you need to be the type of individual that's going to follow those directions, right? You're going to show up. You're going to follow directions. You're going to ask questions, right? If you get stuck, you get lost, you see an email go out about a live Q&A and you're stuck in your business, I'm going to join the live Q&A. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to get help. Like, we're not going to be the type of people that's going to disappear, right? We're not going to just fall off the face of the earth. We got the podcast, we got the YouTube, we got lives, we got Instagram, we got social media. So you can find us in all different ways. Like, you got us on Instagram Live right now, you got us on YouTube, and you guys got us on Zoom. I would be on Facebook Live if it wasn't interfering, right? But every time we're building something, you can find us as we're building it. So that's one of the things that also come up. And in regards to that, do I need experience? So we tell you guys that you could build this business with zero experience. Now, if you do have experience, my expectation of you would be like you could go a lot further and a lot faster because you have experience in the business. But it is not a requirement for you to start this business and say, I need to know everything. I would tell you, if you're trying to start any business, it is not a requirement for you to know all the ins and outs of all those businesses. Because more often than not, that's going to hold you up from starting. I'm telling you now, if you try to sit there and you like, I got somebody in my DMs right now, like, oh, I'm watching the YouTube, I'm watching the podcast, I'm watching the interviews, I'm watching the most successful students. Those people will never get started. Not because not because of the lack of information, more along the lines of lack of implementation. So do you need experience? No. If you do have more experience, I would say absolutely go ahead and go for it. But it is not a requirement for you to come in and know everything as you're building this. So along those same lines, if you got a 9 to 5, you got kids, you got limited time, we tell you that you can build this business within, 1 to 2 hours a day. Now, if you pull up your phone right now and you go to settings, I don't know what the setting is on an iPhone, but if you go to settings and you go to apps and you go to display the time at the end of every week on Sunday, what iPhone does is it shows you how much time you spend on every single app. Let me know in the chat, how many hours are you spending on every single app? It tells you how many hours you use your phone a day. Now, let's say you're a busy professional. Let's say you use your phone like we do for business. That might be 8 or 10 hours a day that you're on your phone. But out of that time on your phone, how much of that is actually dedicated to your business? So if you're like, hey, I got kids, I got a 9 to 5 job, I got limited time. We still find time to be on TikTok, to be on YouTube, to be on social media, to be on our text messages, to be gossiping. We have time. So I guarantee you, if you're like, I can't start this business because I got kids, I got a 9 to 5, or I got limited time, you're not lying to me, you're lying to yourself. Because majority of our students who have joined Clean and Busy University, they got 9 to 5s. Busy professionals, limited time. Majority of them. And a lot of them do have kids. They do have kids. So like the Tiptons that we just shared their story on our YouTube, they hit $1 million in their cleaning business. 9 to 5s, multiple kids, multiple jobs, and was able to do it. Now, we don't know your personal situation, right? There's going to be people that got multiple kids. They might be a single mom. They might be a single dad. I guarantee you that we could show you an example of success in every single part of your life that you want to put in the chat. So anybody on here single mom, anybody on here single dad, anybody on here with multiple kids, 1 kid, 2 kids, 3 kids, anybody on here with multiple jobs. I guarantee you we can show you a version of yourself within somebody else's story. This is why we try to highlight so many different types of testimonials, because we want to be able to remove the excuse of saying, I can't do this because. I want you to think about it is that you can do this because you got kids. You can do this because you got family. You can do this because you got multiple jobs. And that should be driving you forward to do it even more. So this is why we try to show so many different testimonials. Like Chandrell that we showed you guys. I think she did $300,000-$400,000 in her cleaning business. Did it by herself. Mom, kids. Right? She did commercial. She did standard cleanings. Residential. And I'll get into that. So it could be done with 9 to 5s. It could be done with multiple kids. And it could be done with limited time. Now, this is another one that comes up. Does market size or location matter? I think in every single business, market size matters and location matters. But usually there's a deeper reason. We want to feel like we can't do this business because our market is too small. So let me ask you this. If you go to Google, right? Let me see if I can pull it up. If I go to Google and give me, if you guys are on here, whether you're on Zoom or YouTube or Instagram, give me your zip code, right? Give me your zip code. Just put it in chat. And this is an exercise that anybody could do. If your fear was like, I can't do this business because of my market size and my location, type in your zip code and type in cleaning service in my area. So I got one from PJ. Shout out to PJ for dropping that in the chat. Appreciate you. So if I go to 22202 zip code, all right, that's Arlington, Virginia. So now that I know it's Virginia, I'm going to type in that zip code, VA, cleaning services. And I'm just going to see what pops up. And make sure you do, I always recommend you do it in an incognito window. So incognito window just means that you're going to do it in a way where no one can kind of see your history. And you want to do it in that way so that Google doesn't give you any predetermined answers to your questions. So incognito window, I type in zip code, I type in cleaning service, right? And I'm going to see at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At the very top, I see 6 cleaning services, right? Now, your question may be, okay, there's 6 there, but how do I determine if it's going to be for my area? So out of those 6, 5 were franchises. 5 were franchises. So do you think a franchise is going to build a business in a location that's not growing, that doesn't have the demographic or the population? Do you think Starbucks is going to come in your location and put a Starbucks in your neighborhood if it doesn't have the people? Let me know in the chat. Do you think Starbucks is going to come in your location and build a business in your area if it doesn't have the people?
Hey, this is PJ.
Hey, PJ.
So the 220, you said it has 5 franchises. So is that a good thing?
Yes.
Okay.
So if your fear is that I can't build this business, so we think about the question about can this be done in my area, it's due to oversaturation. And you're feeling is either oversaturation or the other version of it is, I don't have enough people in my area. So if Starbucks comes and builds a new franchise in your area, that is showing you that there is more room to grow. If you got 5 franchises in your area, that means that there is still a target demographic. There won't be 5 franchises. I could go a lot deeper than that. But there's going to be 5 franchises in your area. That means that there is still room to grow. You don't go down the bread aisle or the water aisle or the soda aisle and you're like, well, there's too many sodas here. There's still going to be more coming in. So that's why I pulled up that that zip code, because you put it in the chat first. But it's usually a reason that people feel like they can't build their business. So that's why I pulled yours up. Thank you for sharing that. So I got a little bit off track there. Yes, so that was why I answered that question the way I did. So does market size or location matter? Absolutely. No matter what business you build, if you build a business there is nobody doing it, you shouldn't be the one to do it. You don't want to be the first person to send the rocket to the moon or whatever Elon's trying to do today or put humans on a rocket. You don't want to be the first person to build Tesla or Amazon or Google. No matter how sexy it seems, like, I'm going to build the first of this. There is nothing new under the sun. Nothing is new. So everything you've seen us do or continue to do has been done by somebody else. So yes, market size and location matters, but you don't want to be the first to market with anything unless you have the team, unless you have the money. If you're going to be first to market, that means you have an amazing invention that nobody in the history of this entire world has done, or they have done it and it has failed. I mean, I don't think you guys want to be either one of those. So to answer this section, is that you don't need the experience to do this successfully. So market size and location absolutely matters, but not in the way you think. So I use that example to show you that is definitely possible based on that demographic and market. So I'll pause for a second. What's going on, guys? Happy holidays. If you're just joining, we're doing a live end of year Q&A. We took all of our top questions that people asked over the last year. We compiled them to a document, and I'm going through them. They've asked it on our DMs, on our YouTubes, on our podcasts, on our webinars. So if you're the type of person that's been on the fence about joining Cleaning Business University and wondering if it's for you, you need to be here today, or drop your question in one of the chats that we got going here today. So now, can I actually execute on this without messing it up? You're going to mess it up. You're going to mess up no matter what way, shape, or form. I want to put that out there. You are not going to be perfect. We are not perfect. We mess up all the time. And relationships and families and friendships with our kids, and especially going to mess up in business. So if you believe you're going to start something and be 100% perfect, stick to the job. Because even at your job, you're going to call out one day. You're going to be sick. You're not going to be able to do the job. That's the way life works. So you're not going to do this 100% right. Nobody does. So I want to go over a few of the execution. I call it like the execution confidence questions, because this comes down to, can I do this without messing up? So how cleaners are found. So we find our cleaners a few different ways. But mainly the way we find them is posting online. We do majority of our interactions with our team, with our cleaners, with our clients online. So we find them on any platform where people are already looking for cleaners. Every single one. Google, Facebook, Thumbtack, Instagram, Yelp, Indeed, ZipRecruiter. Every single place a person is going to be looking for a cleaner, that's where we're going to be. That's one of the easier parts, finding people. People are looking for jobs every single day. Every single day. Somebody's looking for a job right now as we speak. The day after Christmas, they're looking for a job. 2026, I'm looking for a job. There's some people in this live right now looking for a job. So we are going to be finding them in every single location where people are normally looking for cleaners. That's not the hard part. The more difficult part is finding people that you can actually work with. That's one of the more challenging parts. Because your fear is like, oh, I'm not going to be able to find anybody. No, you're going to be able to find people. The more challenging part is going to be finding people that you trust, finding people who you can vet, finding people that can go through your hiring process. So, for example, we just did a live call in our community this week. We did an end of year for them. And one of the questions that still comes up is, I found this cleaner. They're absolutely perfect. They went through our checklist, and they might have missed something. It's going to happen. 100% is going to happen. You are going to get a bad review, right? I want to steer some people away. You are going to get a bad review. What happens when you get that bad review? Like for us, we got over 500 stars on Google. 500. You think they're perfect? They're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Even if you went out and cleaned homes yourself, you're still going to mess up. You're still going to have a client that wasn't satisfied. It is guaranteed to happen. Going back to the original question, what do you do when those things happen? Do you say, oh, this is not for me? Do you give up? Do you throw away the towel? No, it is going to happen. But what do you do when those situations happen? So we make our vetting process as detailed as possible so that by the time they get to the end of that process, we are left with candidates who are probably the most qualified. Not because they're the best cleaners, but because we took them through our process where they feel like, you know what, this person put me through so much, I'm going to stick around. So one qualifier is how responsive are they? And you might be thinking, well, what does that got to do with cleaning? It doesn't. It has nothing to do with cleaning. Every single person you interview is going to say, I'm a great cleaner. It's going to be on their resume. Who cares? Just like at your 9-to-5 job, you probably put something down. Like for me, I was in information technology for 15 years. I had one job for about 10 of those 15 years, and I worked my way up. But at the end of the day, when I came in, I was probably the least qualified person for that job. No, actually, I was not probably. I was the least qualified person for my job in IT. And I was there for almost 10 years. I worked my way up from the youngest person in the company to the youngest director by being the least qualified. How does that happen? The vetting process. So, for example, if I don't have the experience, what do I need to have? I need to be punctual. I need to be presentable. I need to be professional. And I need to go above and beyond. And that has nothing to do with cleaning. Everything I said has nothing to do with being in IT. I used to have this quote on my wall when I became the director. It was 10 things that require no effort. Let me see if I can pull it up. 10 things that require zero talent. And I had this printed out so that everybody could read it when they walked in. I was one of those people that just put those quotes up. So 10 things that require zero talent: being on time, making an effort, being high energy, having a positive attitude, being passionate, using positive body language, being coachable, doing a little extra, being prepared, and having a strong work ethic. So when we talk about some of our most successful students and members in our community, people in our program, none of this says that they were cleaners. When you outline the people who are most successful, positive energy, positive attitude, being passionate about what they're building, being coachable, doing a little bit extra, showing up early, being prepared, and having a strong work ethic. So we're vetting our cleaners the same way. So through your interview process, right? So your interview process. So you're like, all right, how quickly after the interview, after the application comes in, how quickly are they getting to the next stage? Are they responsive? Do they seem excited about the role, or does it seem like they're applying to 20 jobs? These are ways we're vetting people. And the last stage we're vetting people with is by our on-job cleaning. So they might do a friend's house, our house, coworker's house, a client's house. Can you touch upon your best practice for working interviews? Is that a non-negotiable? What if the employee has 20 years of cleaning experience? I don't care how many years of experience they had. Does that mean nothing if they can't show up on time? That means nothing if they're unapproachable or coachable. 20 years is nothing. One of my coworkers had 20 years and he worked under me. How's that possible? He had 20 years of experience in IT and he worked under me. So 20 years experience, I don't care about that. He wasn't, I want to put his stuff out there. Wasn't coachable though. Definitely didn't take feedback, didn't take criticism, didn't take advice, thought he knew it all. And I came in hungry and I came and listened. I came and learned from everyone. I was asking people, hey, how can I help you? How can we assist you? So if a cleaner comes in like I got 20 years, I don't care. Can you show it? Will the clients know you got 20 years? Probably not. So that's a little bit about like how we vet people, right? Now, what happens if something goes wrong? Right? What happens if somebody doesn't show up? Because this is what people think about, what happens if someone doesn't show up? How do we handle it? So one of the things is we have backups for our backups. So our cleaning teams, we have multiple backups. If somebody doesn't show up, we could send somebody else the next day. It happens even to this day. But the real question is, going back to you, somebody doesn't show up, how are you going to handle it? You're probably more afraid about what the client's going to say to you than actually what's going to happen in real time. And we know it because we see it time and time again. So your fear is that what happens if somebody doesn't show up? And if you call the client, I'm like, okay, come tomorrow. What happens if something isn't cleaned correctly? You're worried about what the client's going to say. Everybody has a bad day. Our best cleaners miss things. You can't be 100% of the time. Michael Jordan had a flu game. I mean, he scored 60-something points. But it's going to happen. LeBron James was out the first couple games of the season. He's never missed the first couple of games. It happens. What are you going to do when it happens? So we go through our frameworks, we go through our mindset, we go through our procedures so that you know what to do when something goes wrong. And even when we tell you what to do, you still got to go through it. That's the only way you're going to learn. If I tell you what to do when a client leaves you a 1-star review, which is going to be breathe, vet to your friends, give it 24 hours, write out what you're going to say, send it to somebody else, let them approve it, and then you post it. That's a 24-hour window of things you could do. But when it happens, you're going to be sick to your stomach. You're going to be sick. I will be sick too. Right? But these are things that people think all the time that, oh, my business is going to be done if I get a 1-star review or if a client is dissatisfied. What do you do when it happens? Which leads into how the business is protected. So we make sure 2 things. We make sure our cleaners have insurance. We make sure we have insurance. So if something goes wrong, we've done 12,000 jobs, 8 years, and we've had incidents maybe twice. But again, this goes back to, hold on, let me finish this thought first. This goes back to, can you execute on this without messing up? You're going to mess up. Something's going to happen. Something's going to fail. What do you do when it happens? So the reason we make sure our teams have insurance, number 1, so they're protected. And number 2, let's say somebody goes ghost. You won't ever hear from them again. Even though you have their ID, you have their address, you have their social, it's only a system. You could find the person if you wanted to. But still, worst case scenario is what happens if this happens. What do you do to overcome that? So this is why we make sure that we have that insurance. Go ahead, PJ. I think you had something, right?
Yes, I was just going to ask about the insurance. Is that a non-negotiable?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Great question. So 100% of the time now also depends on where you are in your business. So actually, I'm gonna just raise your hand. I'm gonna put the hand raise feature on just for now, so I don't lose my train of thought. But yes, it's a non-negotiable. When you start your business, you might let a few people slide because you're like, hey, I got this person that's super solid. I want to make sure we get them in the process. They don't trust me. I don't trust them. So you might let a few people slide, but make sure you stay firm on it as you grow your business so that you know if this happens at the end of the day, I got my insurance. So that is something that we do require when you first start. Again, you might make some adjustments along the way, but you want to make sure you have that, especially earlier on in your business. Now, most people think that nothing's going to go wrong. Most people think that they won't execute. They're going to execute on this 100%, but this is what actually works for us, our students. And this is how we handle it inside of our system. So we give you the frameworks, we give you the tools, we give you the mentality, we give you the ability to ask these questions so that when something does go wrong, even though we told you even though we told you that it will go wrong, even though we showed you what to do if it does go wrong, you're still going to be worried. You're still going to have a fear. You're still going to have that pit in the bottom of your stomach. If you had a class in college or even middle school or grade school, and you knew you wouldn't do what you were supposed to do the whole year, you knew you were going to get a bad report card. What did you do when you got that report card? You knew you had all year to get it right, and you didn't get it right. So what do you do when something goes wrong? So I want you to think about that as you're going through. It depends. There's like 5 different insurances we give our students. Hiscox, Next Insurance, Dimble. There's a bunch out there. You could go to Allstate, Geico. Just depends. So we don't run our business like a traditional cleaning business, right? We tell you guys that we run it completely remote. Like I'm on with you guys right now. I don't know if we have any cleanings today because we closed down yesterday for the holiday, right? But oh yeah, we only got 3 today, right? So we don't run our business like a traditional cleaning business model, right? So we tell you guys that, we don't go out and clean homes, but you can run the business however you like. If you are a cleaner and you want to continue to clean, go for it. But we're just making sure we're running our business with systems. We have technology, we have automations in place. So some of the systems that, you guys can use to run your business, right? We create our own system called TidyTrack, tidytrack.io. And that runs majority of the back end of our business, right? You could use, there's tons out there. You can use Launch 27, you could use Booking Quality, you use ZenMaids, you can use Jobber, all of that, right? That's not going to make or break your business. So when people say, what systems do you use? Google it. That's not going to change the game for you. Some people are like, I just need to know the systems. If it was easy as just knowing the systems, everybody would have $1 million business no matter what you start. It's not about the systems, right? I just want to put that out there. One thing people always ask about as well is like VA. So what does a VA do versus what does the owner of the business do? So we use virtual assistants in our business, which means that pretty much remote employees that work on other hours. So our team consists of people in Philippines. Our team consists of people in Jamaica. Our team consists of people in Barbados. We've had people in Guyana. We have people pretty much all over the world. So they pretty much help us run our business day to day with the operations. Now, the difference between what they do and what the business owner does depends on how you run your business. So for us, when we first started, we were doing everything in our business. So we didn't have a team of VAs. It took us about 4 years to say, we're going to get a VA in place. And when you start, you just want someone to just help you operate the day to day. So it might be answering phones. It might be helping teams get in. Or if a person's like locked out of an apartment, how do I get in, right? If you're at your job, you don't want to be playing phone tag between the cleaner and the client and you and all of that stuff, right? So a VA comes into place where you feel like you're doing too much of the daily operations, like the stuff that can't be automated. So you can't automate if a cleaner is lost or can't get in. There's no automation for that. They need a human touch at that point. So for us, that's where the VA comes in earlier on in the business to do some of those things that stop you from actually growing the business. Well, not growing the business, operating the business. Now, the owner, your job is to grow the business. So this might be doing things like, all right, I'm doing my payroll. I mean, our VAs do payrolls now, but you might say, I'm gonna do payroll. I'm gonna do check-ins with my cleaners. I'm gonna do check-ins with my teams. I'm gonna look at the marketing spend. I'm gonna make sure it's going to the right avenues. I'm gonna make sure, Yelp is optimized, Google's optimized, all these things. So those are the things that I would recommend the owner do as you're growing the business. But the VA is going to help you run the day-to-day operations outside your 9 to 5, on the weekends, on evenings. If you get to the point where you feel like there's too much day-to-day operations and you can't handle it all, that's when you bring a VA in place. And if you guys got any questions, you could drop in the chat or just raise your hand, and I'll allow you guys to unmute yourselves. Now, when is automation implemented or introduced? I don't recommend anyone putting all the automation in day one. And I say that because people are, again, going back to the system is not going to make or break your business day one, right? It's not going to be something that's going to come in, it's going to be an absolute game changer for your business. But if you are somebody who understands technology and you understand how it could help you, like for us, if you're doing your hiring process, and inside of TidyTrack, we have a system where you could put all your applicants inside the system and AI does all the pre-qualifications for them. So yes or no questions. Do they have insurance? Are they background checked? Do they have supplies? Do they have a car? Do they have a license? Do they have a US ID? Do they have this, that, and the third? TidyTrack does all of that for us. And at the very end of our hiring process, if they meet the qualifications, it's going to say, hey, you've been invited to schedule your interview with us. So to us, if we got 100 applicants, the biggest slowdown that people make is like, I got these applicants, I have to get back to them. A lot of you guys do that, right? It's like, I have to get back to them. So for us, we're like, listen, instead of us delaying the hiring process, let's allow everyone to schedule their own interviews on our team's calendars based off the yes or no questions. So that's what automation comes into play, and it helps us out. But if you are starting and you're not hiring, you're not interviewing, you're not scheduling anything, automation is not going to help you do that task. Automation is there to help you move faster in your business. So I don't want you to think about we use X, Y, and Z software, right? I want you to think about when a call is missed or I can't get to a task, here's exactly what happens next. So our system says yes or no, it sends them to our website, it books them. If it doesn't book them, now they go to a lead nurturing sequence for the entire year. So that's why I want you to think about when do you introduce automation, but you don't do it day one if you have nothing going for you. PJ, let's see. You should be able to unmute yourself.
Yes, I just want to say thank you for introducing me to Damien. I did purchase the TidyTrack, and it has been amazing. My only question is, so I have an employee that applied, and she doesn't have a driver's license because she doesn't drive, because a lot of people take the metro. Is that a non-negotiable, or they just need to have a valid ID?
It depends on how you run your business. So if you're like most people in the area don't have, if you say most people in the area don't drive, then the ID wouldn't matter if they're not a driver. But the question is, what happens if they're unavailable or they can't get to a job? Is it expected that they're not going to take the metro or what?
Right. Yeah, because on the application, it asks if they have a driver's license, and it automatically disqualifies them if they don't. So would it be possible to change it just to identification, like a government ID, or
yeah? So yeah, absolutely. So inside of TidyTrack, you do, when he does the weekly calls, you could put it in on the board, or you could do it yourself under settings, where you don't make that a requirement, you just make that optional. So when the question is, do they have a valid driver's license, you can make that optional versus requirement, and it won't remove anyone from that process. Cool. All right. So again, I want you to think about it when it comes to starting this business. Like, PJ says they have the automation software. There are things that's meant to make your life easier. You don't want to jump in day one and like, I got this automation, but I'm not doing anything in the business. You still have to grow and build the business to make your life easier. Because if you don't have anything to grow, if you don't have anything to automate, what are you automating, right? So like, I'm using the systems to automate my hiring process, but if I'm not hiring anyone or interviewing anyone, what's the whole point? So think about it like that. So let me see what other questions that I saw come in. I saw some on Instagram. Oh, it looks like My internet connection went out. Oops, sorry guys. On Instagram, you got any questions, drop it in the chat. So Jason, the average cost of insurance, it could be about $50 a month, depending. If you got a Geico, you got Allstate, you might be able to bundle it to things. So I don't want to give you an average where it varies a lot based on the insurance you want, based on how many years, based on a lot of things. So I would need to know more, but I just don't want to give out a general answer for that. So I'll get into a little bit about Cleanly Busy University. So one thing that people ask is like, am I buying information or is this a path to build my business? So we built it where it is a path for you guys to build your business because information we feel is abundant, right? If you like, I want to start something, go and start it. Go to YouTube, go to Instagram, go to TikTok. We post on our page, we post on YouTube, we post on our podcast. Everything you want to know about how we built our business is there. But if you want a path that we've built for ourselves and our students have followed, that's exactly what it is, right? So that's what we built out for as Cleanly Busy University. Now, support. So one of the things that we give you as CBU, especially during this time, we know that your first 30 days in business is probably going to be the hardest to stay focused, to stay dedicated, to stay showing up. So we give you the most amount of access to us and our team within the first 30 days of joining. That's what our support looks like. So you join Cleanly Busy University, you do an onboarding call. Day one, you book your onboarding call, which we didn't have in the past. So you do an onboarding call. It is, I think, Tuesdays and Thursdays, or like Wednesdays and Thursdays, whatever it is. I think one actually happened today because we had the holiday. And we do the onboarding call so that no one is stuck, no one is lost, and everybody knows from this call, I know exactly how to get support. I know exactly where to show up. I know exactly how to join the calls. I know exactly what I'm going to be doing in my business for those first 30 days. That's the first thing that happens. On that onboarding call, we walk you through the program, everything like that. But you also book your 2-week check-in call. 2-week check-in call. Because you know what's going to happen? You get excited, momentum hits you, and then life hits you. So we know within the first 2 weeks, life is going to happen. And you know what happens when we do that check-in call? We ask people, oh, what have you done so far? What have you accomplished? What's your biggest challenge? How can we support you? How can we help you? And some people, when they join this call, it's like, you know, I didn't do anything. And that's totally fine. But we want to make sure you're checked in. So remember what I said earlier when I said, who is this for? Or who is it not for? If you know you're not going to show up for yourself, and we ask you in that check-in call, you're like, oh, well, I had this, I had that, I had this. We don't want to hear it. We all got life. We got life right now. We dedicated time to be here. But even if life happens, what do you do after that? Right? What do you do after that? It's like, all right, life happened. We're like, cool. What's next for you? How can we help you? How can we support you? Like, it's not a therapy session. It's about a roadmap for you guys. So we know life happens. It happens to us as well. Like, what do you need in this moment so that we could help you take a small micro step, a micro commitment to yourself? We just interviewed Dimitri. His interview is going to release probably like next week. I don't know. Still trying to figure it out. But he did 10K in his first 30 days. He was like, how can we support you? He's like, man, I just kept showing up for myself. Every time I had a question, you guys answered it. So that's what it's for you guys, right? Now you get lifetime access to Cleanly Busy University as it stands. 2026, we are removing that. We don't think anyone needs lifetime access to anything. But you know what that does for us? It creates a support nightmare. So we had it where you get lifetime access and you come back 5 years from today and say, hey, I can't log in. So we've learned as we went along, you know, it's totally fair that it's a want, but it's not a need. So right now you get lifetime access. So meaning you log in 5 years from now, it still exists in its current framework, right? But in 2026, we're removing lifetime access. Not because we don't want to give it, but it just creates a support nightmare. So now we got to find the email you use. We got to create the logins for you. It's not worth it. And no one buys because you said lifetime access. But the people who win inside the program are the people who don't need lifetime access. They need the support, they need the guides, they need the blueprint, the roadmap. They need the ability to have somebody show up for them when they need it. So what I'm going to do here is, for everyone who's like, listen, Ant, I'm ready to go. I've been locked in with you guys for this entire year. I'm going to drop that link for you to join Clean Your Biz University. And once I find that link, I'll give you guys that access. And we'll do a little bit more Q&A as well, because I got some more questions that people normally ask. So right now, Clean Your Biz University is at the end of year 997 special. So everybody is ready to go. We dropped that link. Then you got a few options you could do. Afterpay, Zip, Split It. So there's tons of payment plan options there for you guys to join. Now, how long access lasts? So we said right now you get lifetime access. You get 30 days of live coaching and support inside of our community, where we give the most amount of touch points. And after that, if you want to stay inside the community and coaching, you could decide to. It is not required. So what type of person wins inside of the program? That was another type of question that comes up a lot. So we talked about the people who don't win. But the people who do win, I think everyone joins something with the goal of getting to where they want to get to. But the type of person who wins are the type of people who show up constantly. It's the same type of people. They ask questions, they show up, like PJ. PJ's already in the program. Join the Tidy Track and join this call, and probably join the end of year call too. You see certain people, you see the names, you recognize them, and they show up over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. We did a live Q&A call inside of our community, and everybody was shouting out one person on the call, or a few people shout out the same person. Not because they were amazing. I mean, they probably were, but because the name kept coming up. The name kept coming up. So are you going to be the type of person that's going to take the information and sit on it? Or are you going to be the type of person that shows up? Because I'll be there as much as you need me. One thing about us is that you cannot not find us. Let me know. You ever try to reach out to us and you couldn't find us anywhere? It's impossible. We would have to delete all of our socials. Also, 2026, I want to stop answering DMs personally. So you won't be able to get us in the DMs. Because we do a live call like this where we could talk for an hour. We do a live webinar where we get on for 2 hours. We do Q&As. We do a podcast. We do YouTube. We do Instagrams. So asking the question in the DMs is not going to solve your problem. So I'm personally going to try to remove myself from DMs in 2026. And I know they say, well, you want to connect with people and you want to give that personal touch. I don't believe in it. I don't believe it. There's only so much personality you could get in a DM. But here on a live call, you can exactly see our sentiment. You can see how we coach. You can see how we show up. You can see how we support. You can see all of that in one shot. There's only so much you could get in the DM. So that is something that will be changing. And that's literally the goal, right? We want to support people who want the support and not give it to everyone. So what else we had here? So we talked about a few things. So we want to make sure that, when you're joining Clean Your Biz University, you know what you're getting. So $997, you can do a one-time payment, you can do a payment plan, simple as that. Some people are like, I want to start at the top of the new year. You could join today, or you can wait till the new year. In the new year, the price goes back up and you won't have lifetime access and the plans will be changing, right? So, and you could decide, hey, I'm going to do my onboarding call at the top of the year. That's another thing we've seen people doing. It's like, all right, I'm going to wait to join, actually start. I'm going to join the program today and then start my onboarding process at the top of the year. That's totally fine. Or you could do multiple onboarding calls. We've had that as well. And we don't offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee. We don't offer a guarantee, right? We don't offer a monetary guarantee, none of that stuff. Because we feel the person that needs that monetary guarantee is not the person we want in our program. Like, completely honest. We tried it. It wasn't for us. Because in order for us to do that, we would have to do the work for you. And when you do something of that magnitude, you need to make sure that the person's showing up. And if I'm guaranteeing you a result, then I need to be dragging you more than you actually wanting that result. But we do offer a success commitment guarantee. So this means that when you join Clean Your Biz University, no matter if you join today, 5 years from today, wherever it is, you will always have our support and guidance. So whether that's via DM, like PJ took up this whole Q&A asking questions, right? No offense, I'm just saying. Q&As, lives, support, DMs, messages. Our team answers messages as well. You will never not be able to find us. So that's our guarantee. If you're the type of person who's going to show up, we will support you in any way, shape, or form that we can. That is reasonable within our measurements, right? Go ahead, PJ. Oh, hold on.
No, I'm one of those people. I'm gonna ask all the questions I have. How much do you charge for a one-on-one session for like an hour?
I don't do one-on-one sessions for an hour because I don't think that the value that a person could get in 1 hour will be enough.
You going down?
Hold on, let me mute you, PJ. So I don't do one-on-one sessions to that extent anymore because I feel like there's only so much value a person can get in an hour. But we do have a program where it's called I do an 8-week coaching session with you. So the first session we do is one-on-one for about 30, 45 minutes. And we map out your business for the next 8 weeks, how you're going to show up, how I'm going to support you, how my team is going to support you. And then I do weekly coaching sessions with that small group. So at the top of the year, we're going to change that structure where it won't be every week. It'll be every other week. But for right now, it's every week. So you should have gotten an email about that, PJ, if that's something you were interested in. But yeah, a 1 hour Q&A would just be like a brain picking session, and I hate those. I would rather us come up with guidance and structure over the next couple of weeks so that we could see a tangible result. So PJ, drop your email to me, and I'll have Chanel, our operations manager, give you that note. And we're changing the way it functions next year. So it's going to be every other week versus every week. Cool. So I mean, just even that example, right? It's like I'd rather give my time and attention to you guys in a more streamlined way versus just an hour, right? Because I'd rather you get a result that we could follow along the way. You get a Q&A and ask me a bunch of questions like this, like, cool, I'll rapid fire. That's what my monthly calls in the community are, rapid fire. I'm going to show up as much as you need. But it's like, I'd rather have a tangible result that I could follow along with you. Like I'm working with a student right now, and I said, by the end of this month, I want you to have your first client. And here's how we're going to map that out. You do this, and this. I'm going to show up. I want to see that result, right? I want to see that result. So I'd rather do that versus just a 1 hour Q&A. And if you want more information about that, send me a DM. You get our access to our course, and you also get the 8 weeks coaching. If you want to learn more about that. So let me see. Franklin Kurt. I'll see if we got your information inside of our. Let me see. I'll let the team know. Yeah, and there's different price points for if you're already a CBU student or if you're brand new, because we don't want anyone coming off of the street and it's like, now I'm trying to coach you into building your business. We'd rather you have the frameworks of CBU, and then you understand how we coach, how we support, how we guide you, so that you know for the next 8 weeks how we're going to make sure you get to your goal. But then more importantly, after that, what happens? So we'll get you guys some more information about that. So if you're watching this live session, guys, let me know in the chat. I got some people here on Instagram. We got some people here on YouTube. We got some people here in Instagram, TikTok. Oh no, we closed with TikTok. Femen Nikita. Excuse me. My screen is really small. She said, CBU student here, you can make the investment back in 1 month if you follow the course. Let's go. Appreciate you sharing that. CJ Nolan, drop your email and the team could, or a phone number. You can send it to me directly and the team will reach out to you about that option. So if you're watching this right now and you have everything you need, hey, I'll drop that Clean Your Business University link for you guys, right? And if the time is right, use the link. If time is the only issue, you could book a call for our team to learn more. But don't leave this session with any unanswered questions. Again, the format, the pricing, the structure, things are going to change at the top of the new year. So we want to make sure that you guys get it as it currently stands. Cool. All right, guys. Well, is any other questions? Let me see. All right, CJ, I got you. I'll send that to the team, and they will reach out, and we'll see if we can support you in any way, shape, or form. Cool, we got you. All right, let me see what else we got in the chat. And listen, we still do our webinars too. So again, there's no way you guys can't find us. Jason says, I got my call to start on Monday. Let's go, Jason. Hopefully we see you in. Let me make sure the team knows that. Oh, CJ's booked for a call today. Okay, cool. CJ's already locked in. See, this is why we also do these type of things where I can't do a one-on-one call when everybody's interested in joining CBU, right? It's almost impossible to do so. So if I could have 8 people on Zoom, I could have 15 people on live coming in. We got some people on YouTube. We already know what the questions are. So imagine me having to answer the same exact questions every single day. I would go crazy. So it's like if I could do a room and it's more interactive, the engagement is better, the energy is better. We can support you guys differently. So this is why I try to do too many one-on-one sessions when it comes to stuff like that. Because I believe if there's someone on this Zoom that has, or any platform that has a question, you won't be the only one with the answer. Or I won't be the only one with the answer. So let's go, guys. Well, appreciate you tapping in on this day after Christmas. We hope you guys have a happy holiday. Happy New Year. We hope you enjoyed Christmas. Everybody's inside of Clean Biz University. We appreciate you guys for trusting us to help you get to your goals. Everybody that's not inside of CBU, we still support you. We still hope you have a happy holiday, man. And we'll see you around. PJ, we got you locked in. Jason, we got you locked in. Franklin, we got you locked in. So we'll have the team send you some information if you're not already on the calendar. All right, guys. See you next time. Peace.